How's everyone doing today? This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a new video. In this video I will be going over my rankings on the Fly collection. I just watched these this week and this is an awesome set from Scream Factory. If you're ever looking into a box set, I would recommend this. It does have some fun films. I enjoyed all of them. It has from the classics to the remakes in the 80s. It's pretty much like a horror sci-fi and has some crime in it too, crime drama, but very good set by Scream Factory. So I will be doing a ranking. It's a top 5. This is just my opinion. If you've seen these films, I'd like to hear your opinion on them as well. So please feel free to leave in the comments your opinions on them. So that'd be cool to hear. So let's get it started with number 5 of this. I'm going to put it with Curse of the Fly. And this was made in 1968, I believe. No, 1965. Apologize for that, got that wrong. Well, anyways, 1965. And this is the third part to the original classics. And this is kind of like a different type film. I don't consider it like the sci-fi Fly the other two are. I consider this more of like a creature feature because it is based upon the fly machines, but there's not really that. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen these, I recommend you watching them first before going into this video. But anyways, back to that. Pretty much doesn't show the fly creature like the first two. It has like these mutated people. They're like kind of like deformed, and it's due to that machine they're putting them in. And it pretty much has this girl here who escaped from a psychiatric ward, and she's ends up meeting this guy, and they end up like romantically involved, and they end up finding his secrets, which his whole family's like this mad scientist that are doing these experiments on these people, and he also is like an experiment. He transforms into a creature if you don't take his medication that keeps him normal. So it shows some scenes on that, but yeah. Anyways, it pretty much a battle between her and him, like her family wanting to do experiments on her. She later finds out and has to fight them off, and then end up releasing these people that they've been doing experiments on, which are like deformed looking creatures that they've worked on. So it is a fun film. So I have it at number 5. It does take a different path than the other two there of the original. So number 5, Curse of the Fly. Number 4, we're going to go with Return of the Fly. And this is a sequel to the classic. And this one's pretty much takes off where the first one ends, and it has Vincent Price as well. He's the uncle. And pretty much it's the nephew this time, because, spoiler alert again, on part 1, his dad ends up dying, so he takes over the reign trying to figure out his dad's experiments. And you end up having a assistant that kind of betrays him, wants to get rich off everything he knows, so takes that crime take on it. And pretty much it has the battle between them and this guy that double crossed him, that was the dad's assistant, and he ends up putting him in that machine. He ends up becoming the Fly, and they're here to rescue him. And he has his love interest as well as uncle, who's played by Vincent Price, trying to help find a solution for his nephew, so as he becomes the Fly. It's a fun film. Number 4, Return of the Fly. And at number 3, I'm going to go with The Fly 2. It's the sequel to the 80s Fly with Jeff Goldblum. I hope I said his name right. Jeff Goldblum. Anyways, it stars Eric Schultz as the son, and it is a direct sequel from the remake 80s version, like I said. And this one is pretty fun too. It has some good effects. I really like the effects in this movie, man. They're outstanding. And it has a good storyline as well. It pretty much has the son who's held in this like science lab. He can't leave anywhere. He's trapped in there. They kind of make him like an apartment, and he ends up being like 5 years old, but since he was born straight from the dad on the Fly, he's pretty much got the Fly in him. It's just a matter of time before he becomes the Fly. And he pretty much ages faster than anyone else, so he like hits 5 years old and he's already like an adult. It's crazy. And he ends up finding a love interest as well, who they end up, romantically in love, but she doesn't know a secret that he's bound to turn into the Fly eventually. And pretty much the scientists in there want to keep him as an experiment, which he don't even know of. So he ends up rebelling, finding the truth out, and fighting them, and turns into a great creature feature. Man, he looks awesome when he transforms. Great effects in this film, as I say. So this is The Fly 2 at number 3. And at number 2, we're gonna go with the original Fly, which is awesome. Really love this movie. That stars Vincent Price as well. This movie just gave me like a crime mystery. Gave me kind of a Giallo vibe because it starts off like a Giallo, like there's a murder, and it's pretty much the dad from the first part, and the uncle's Vincent Price, who's trying to find out what happened to his brother. And then you have his wife, who's already confessed to the murder, but she's like so calm. Everyone's like, well, why is she so calm if she just murdered her own husband? It doesn't fit the thing. So it takes like a mystery twist on that anyways, but it does have some Giallo vibes for sure in this one, and then it takes off to that sci-fi creature film. But man, and then it's also colorized. So they put in color, which is pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. But this movie was highly enjoyable, man. It's a classic. And I highly recommend this if you haven't seen it. So number 2, we got The Fly. And number 1, of course, is The Fly, the remake. Jeff Goldblum. And it has Gina Davis from Beetlejuice. And this one's just an all-time classic for me. It's got David Cronenberg on the effects, which really stand out in this one. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. If you haven't, highly recommend it. And it pretty much has about, Jeff Goldblum's character, who is a kind of a mad genius too, scientist who's experimenting on transporting on his experiments through time. And pretty much the same story ends up with a fly in there, and it ends up switching DNAs and mixture with him. He has a cut on the back, and it kind of gets in there and pretty much starts to transform into the Fly. But the transformation from him to the Fly is just, it's great effects, man. Just, it really gives that creature feature look to it. Also, it has a love interest between him and Gina Davis, who's a journalist and reporter, and she ends up falling for him. And then there's the jealous ex who wants to stop at them, that works at the journalist area. He's the editor, and he's the one pretty much trying to make it bad for them falling in love. And she soon finds out that by him experimenting on the machines, that he's not the same person. She starts to see the different side of him. She knows something's wrong. She's concerned, so she slowly starts to see his transformation. His mood changes, everything, and he ends up turning pretty much evil and going out. And like I said, the gore effects in this are awesome as well. It has a great ending, great gory ending. So if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. So that's at number 1, The Fly. So that will be my Fly rankings. Let me give you a quick review. We got at number 5, Curse of the Fly. Number 4, Return of the Fly. Number 3, The Fly 2. Number 2, The Fly original. Number 1, the remake of The Fly. So that is my top rankings for the Fly collection. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. Comment below if you'd like. Hope everyone stays safe. Have a great week. Sundead Nightmare 24. Peace out.